Ellie Kedward, more commonly known as the Blair Witch, is the primary antagonist of the 1999 psychological horror film The Blair Witch Project, as well as its mythology. Accountable for a long string of unexplained deaths and disappearances over the history of Burkittsville, Maryland, she remains an imposing presence in the town's folklore, lingering for long periods of dormancy, only to re-emerge and claim the lives of those that make the mistake of trespassing in her home in the Black Hills. The Blair Witch's likeness varies, and it is unknown if she has any specific form or if she is capable of shape-shifting. The Blair Witch cult maintained that she took the form of a freakish, barely human witch who did not touch the ground. Rustin Parr cited her as an old woman dressed in all black who vanished at his approach. Mary Brown saw her as an old woman without clothes covered in thick, dark hair. Robin Weaver saw her as an old woman who hovered rather than walked. Heather Donahue hardly saw her at all, but was seen shrieking in terror at her sighting as she fled the camp, having spotted something monstrous in the wilderness. Even the apparitions glimpsed in 2016 are still ambiguous. It is never clarified in the film whether it is the 6-foot-tall, haggard monstrosity pursuing Lisa or the faceless woman that James witnessed. However, according to screenwriter Simon Barrett, the former is merely the defaced body of one of the witch's previous victims, whereas director Adam Wingard claims that the figure clad in Heather's clothes was the actual witch using Heather's image. There has been speculation that the witch herself has no true form of her own, as the filmmakers themselves claimed that the spectral apparitions in all the films were the tormented victims of the witch, sentenced to reside in the forest. The witch's ghost is an invisible entity that can supernaturally control the environment, possess or mind-wipe victims, and even control items and eliminate individuals. It can be deduced that the witch can possess her targets or other people. This would explain why the woman referred to in the Blair Witch cult was possessed by the witch, and why the shape seen by James Donahue was the remnants of his sister possessed by the witch, this last information confirmed by the director. Nevertheless, according to a deleted scene not used in the film, the witch was only briefly glimpsed in the distance as a woman in white. Should this be taken as canon, one would suspect that the witch has some sort of default form. In other words, the common appearance of several female spirits. The Blair Witch's appearance is similarly ambiguous, shrouded in supposition and conjecture. The recorded instances in which she speaks are rare and often limited to curt commands. Most of the time, she offers no hint of emotion or opinion, and the only time she does, through Tristan, occurs in the highly dubious events of the Book of Shadows, the latter of which seems to have been declared non-canonical. Whether anything of Ellie Kedward's personality remains is uncertain, though given that the witch went out of her way to eliminate her accusers and the townspeople who supported them, it is fair to assume that she is at least capable of seeking revenge. It is her habit of stalking and tormenting her prey over days before killing them, often with extremely brutal and prolonged methods, that shows her to be a truly sadistic person, although the fact that she saved Heather for last has been used to reinforce the theory that she also holds a code of conduct that requires a highly specific pattern of killings. Josh toppled one of the cairns in the graveyard and was thus the initial target, tormented and taken the life of. Heather reassembled the cairn and kissed it, thus earning herself a reprieve until the ending. Despite the weirdness of her on-camera speech, she is able to speak directly, enough to give orders, and even coerce individuals into her service. It would seem that Lane's time in the Blair Witch's service was particularly hellish, given his deranged mental state, when he meets Lisa again, inferring that she has forced him to cooperate. Her exact motives remain unknown, but several theories have been suggested. One claims that Ellie has staked claim to the Black Hills as her home and will snuff out the life of anyone she believes has intruded. Bill Barnes of Curse of the Blair Witch claims that the witch is busily creating her own mythology, regularly taking the life of people to keep her legend alive. Another theory suggests that she maintains herself through human sacrifice, biding her time for 50-year periods before taking the life of more wanderers. Most unusual of all, the non-canonical Blair Witch video games claim that Ellie Kedward has been submerged by the source of her vendetta against Blair, an evil spirit known as the Hecatomex, now determined to destroy humanity.